and I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Who's not following and rooting for Massapequa Coast Little League? First time, Teak, 72 years, headed to Williamsport, and we're joined by their coach now, Roland Clark. Skip, Tiki and Tierney, welcome to the Fan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I also brought along my assistant coach, Brian Bakiers, as well.
Okay, Brian, how you doing? This is phenomenal. I've watched a lot of your games. I've talked about you guys, just giving you a little love leading up to the punctuation of the win the other night in Bristol, the no-hitter from Joey. So what I want to know, because I coach, my little guy's 7, and you kids are obviously older, how long have you had these kids for? Because to me, that's the best. Not only are you winning, but I imagine you've coached some of these boys for a while. How long have you coached these kids for?
Yes, so we've known a majority of these boys since they've been 5 or 6 years old playing T-ball in Massapequa.
That's awesome.
And I would say, like most little leagues, and you're familiar with it, around the time that they turn 10, a few all-star teams are selected, and they start preparing some of the boys for this 12-year-old age bracket. So I would say there's been some changes over the years, but, majority of the boys have been together for the last 2 years or so.
Yeah, and Coach, that makes it easy, obviously, because they have a familiarity with each other and they know how to play together and, turn things, double plays, whatever it may be. They've been together for so long. But when did you start to realize how good this particular team, was going to be?
Yeah, we had a interesting district tournament. One of those games we lost in our district. And as you know, a lot of the district tournaments and even Williamsport is set up for a double elimination type format. So when we came back from that loss, we won 3 games out of the losers bracket to win that championship. And after doing that, we knew that the hitting and the pitching and the defense just clicked at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got to the state tournament, there were some powerhouse teams there like Webster Little League, upstate New York, and South Shore in Staten Island and West Nyack. And when we made it through those teams, we knew we had something special going into the Eastern regions.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are getting ready. If I'm not mistaken, you'll take on the winner of Hawaii, which is a powerhouse, and Washington State. That'll be on Friday. So what do you do? Obviously, you get some work in, I'm sure. You get the cage work. You want to stay somewhat sharp. You don't want to tire the boys out too much, but you also want to make sure that they really are able to take in every second of this while not losing sight of the reason why they're there. So how do you navigate the next couple of days, getting ready for Friday?
Yeah, it is, Brian. Hey, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's a balancing act, right? You got to keep them loose. You want them to be a kid and really kind of soak it up. It's kind of the equivalent of like the mini Olympic Village, I call it, right, where they're meeting a lot of kids from all different countries.
Yep.
And so you want to keep it loose. You want them to soak in the experience. But when we're out on the field, we're in the cages, you need to keep it focused and you need to keep it on baseball.
Yeah, and you guys, obviously you did that leading up into the last game against Toms River that we were all watching, and we actually talked about it before the game because Toms River is so good. But tell us, about that no-hitter. Joey Lionetti, it's rare, I'm assuming. I mean, obviously it's rare, but tell us about it from your perspective. Did you see it coming? Was he dialed in? Like, it's an amazing feat for him.
It was. I think it was a matter of his confidence in the fact that we played them in our opening round game in the regions, and we were fortunate enough to get a victory. It was a close game, extra inning game. But during that game, there were many opportunities where he was hitting his spots. I think he finished maybe with 10 strikeouts in the first game. So, when Brian and I were discussing and we knew that we would be playing them in the championship game, which if they had beaten us there, even though we were undefeated, it would have been over for us. We knew it was important to get him in a good rhythm, Joey, and at least get one run. Their pitcher, the Mascaro kid, was, throwing the ball hard. I think he finished with 8 or 9 strikeouts even in that championship game, even though we had about 8 or 9 hits. So we knew the importance of just giving Joey a run, that he would be bringing it, and if we can get him into a rhythm, we would be okay. No one was ever thinking, especially facing Toms River East and, the whole Todd Frazier relationship and things like that. They have a wonderful little league down there. They do a great job, those
It's terrific.
guys.
Yeah, they do.
No one was expecting a no-hitter.
Yeah, I don't even know deep down if you expect to win. You expect to compete. Forget about a no-hitter, right?
Yeah,
Man.
that's true too.
know?
True too. Very true.
Yep. So we're talking to Roland Clark and his assistant coach, Brian. Massapequa Coast Little League, which is located in the town of Oyster Bay. First time, 72 years in their existence that they're going to Williamsport. And Roland, this one's for you, unless Brian was on that team that I'm not aware of. But Roland was on the team back in, I guess that would have been 89, when you guys made the Massapequa International on the same field, I believe, in Bristol, where you guys got to the brink of Williamsport. And here you are. And so you grew up there, I'm assuming, Coach. You played there, obviously. You never left, and here you are. But what does it mean specifically for you to get back? Because you were right there as a kid yourself.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind of emotions the last few weeks. Longtime friends that, you don't often get to see, but you played baseball with, that were reaching out or even made the trip to Bristol to see that championship game. The memories from 33 years ago were fresh in my mind that week, obviously, returning there. A lot of things have changed for the better. I told the boys that, there was no ESPN back then. It was single elimination. But they're going to meet a lot of people. And this is the beginning of where dreams are made of. Yeah. I remember being there in 1989, and we won our first game. We lost our second game. We were eliminated. And that was the year that Trumbull, Connecticut went on to win the entire thing.
Yep.
And Chris Drury was a member of that team.
Yeah, former Ranger, sure.
Yeah, so one of the things that Brian and I, tried to really promote with the boys getting out and meeting the other players from the other the other 11 states, because you never know. There's definitely going to be maybe a professional player, if not a professional baseball player in that group of boys.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Awesome.
Hey, Brian, the town, we heard this on last week. The town actually had a watch party. You guys are local heroes out there. How amazing has it been with just the support? I mean, you think you're usually isolated, like I'm not worried about my neighbor, but in this case, everybody's worried about their neighbor. How awesome has this been out in Massapequa?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Roland and I have been on the road, I think, for about 3 weeks straight. So we're hearing it. We're seeing it on social media, which is amazing. We're not yet experiencing it, but look, the support from the town, the support from the parents, it's really unbelievable to see people reaching out, and it makes you proud not only to be from Massapequa, but it makes you proud to be a New Yorker.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, how is it traveling with these kids? I mean, you just said you haven't been home in weeks. How hard is it to travel with the 12-year-old kids?
Well, before Roland jumps in, I'll tell you, we've known these kids since they were 7. And they love each other, and it makes the team chemistry so much better. But the problem is they've known Roland and I since they were 7. So, it's good and bad sometimes.
They're not scared of you anymore, is what you're saying, Coach.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Get back in your room. You're not my dad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, guys. I'm curious, and Brian, you can answer this. Roland, you can answer this. Either one. The specialization of sport now, it's like, when I remember, this is a while ago, but I remember I'd have basketball practice, CYO. My dad would bring both of our gloves. He'd roll me grounders. I'd long toss. That's how I'd get ready for baseball. I wasn't going to a hitting coach, 3 times a week. I wasn't going any times a week because there were none back then. So do most of the kids play other sports? Are they baseball 12 months a year? How does that break down? I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's a great question. Most of the boys, obviously, growing up in Massapequa, it has a very historical, sport-driven history. So the boys do play a lot of sports, whether it's flag football, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, and we promote that. Brian and I both played multiple sports. Fortunate enough to play, a college sport here and there.
Okay.
And, one of the things that we definitely agreed upon early on was that we weren't going to handcuff the boys to just playing baseball. And I think that's part of our success, that these boys are athletic. We're not the biggest team when you see us. We aren't the strongest throwing team, as far as pitching, but these boys could flat out play. They could run the bases. They're great defensively. They can hit the ball, and they support one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that helps, too, in their discipline, that, when a coach is speaking, you're listening. And when a coach tries to correct you, for a 12-year-old, to take criticism, a negative criticism at times, could be a difficult thing. So the communication on the part of Brian and I needs to be carefully explained. And I think these boys at this point are finding the opportunities and accepting that at the right time, that, okay, coach really isn't upset at me, if I struck out swinging at a pitch 5 feet over my head, or if I didn't, hit the cutoff guy. So things are coming into place at the right time.
Yep.
And I think as you coach Little League too, I just think, this opportunity is really paving the way for them, that when they get to the next level and they have coaches that aren't dads like we are, they have professional coaches, or they hopefully have the opportunity to play college, that they are just coachable kids that work hard and at the end of the day can see the rewards of that hard work when you're a competitive athlete.
Well, everything that you've taught them and their parents and maybe older siblings as well, it's transferable to the real world. So whether or not, whether it's, Joey or somebody else on the team is playing shortstop for the Yankees, the Mets down the road, that's almost right now, it's almost immaterial. It's almost irrelevant because, the skill set for life.
Exactly.
We all have big dreams and you let your mind wander. Well, can my son make? But at the end of the day, they're well-rounded, ambitious young men, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, now at 12, right, what's really exciting, I guess, for me, coaching a 12-year-old as opposed to, say, a 10, 9, or 8-year-old, is you talk to them like men, right? You could use words like adversity, and the concept of you need to fail to succeed, or we play for the moment and not worry about the outcome. So it's really exciting to coach, especially when it's your son or kid and talk in terms like that, which I think is a real mature way to kind of coach a player.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
No doubt about it.
Hey,
Brian,
final thing, more Yankee or Met fans on the team, guys?
We're probably split, I would say.
Split.
Nice.
It's just about split. Yes, I think for the kids that were Met fans, we did have the opportunity to speak with Todd Frazier a few days ago. Prior to the second game. So the Met fans on the team were a little happy about that. He played a little bit longer on the Mets.
Then the Yankees, correct. I got you.
Well, Brian and Roland, good luck to you guys. Obviously, New York's got your back. We're all rooting for you from afar. And
let's go.
You are New York's team, not just Massapequa right now. Good luck
the
to you guys.
Tri-State Areas team,
That's
really.
right.
Hey, guys, if it's okay, I just want to mention something for 10 seconds before you let us go.
Yeah.
Look, there's been a lot of time and money spent on hotels and expenses by a lot of the parents. We're working on a little bit of fundraising now. We'll get you guys details. Again, we're just looking to try to help some of the families out who've been traveling for 3 weeks.
Perfect.
Anything you're going to do to help us, support us, we really appreciate it.
Send it to us, gentlemen. Send it. You have Hoff's out, obviously, cell phone, our producer. Get it to him. We'll tweet it out. We'll let people see it. We're generous when we need to be, certainly in this area. And this is a story we're all behind. So have a great time. Hey, if you win, even more amazing. The fact that you're there, equally amazing. Great job, boys.
Yeah, guys, great show. Thank you very much for having us on, and we appreciate it. And we're two big fans of you guys as well. So good luck to you guys the rest of the way as well.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
you guys. Be well.
There you go. Massapequa Coast Little League, located in the town of Oyster Bay. 72 years. They kick open the door.